Before I begin, I must state that any opinions on this video are my own based on my own conclusion drawn from the research I have done. They are only intended to educate about how molecular hydrogen works and what companies I found to be sound. So, let us begin.
Hello fellow molecular hydrogen seekers. I would like to share some very important information about the machines that make hydrogen for the purpose of consumption. I would like to share my findings and ultimately my view based on facts. I believe we are entering the age of hydrogen in our society. I believe hydrogen can and will be our saving grace on many levels. It can be a clean source of fuel and now a clean source of health. We are only scratching the surface of understanding its potential and how deeply it can help us rebalance the polluted and unhealthy world that we live in. This pollution has reached the air we breathe, the water we drink, the foods that we eat, and all of those affect the state of our health. A wise man once said that you are only as clean as your environment. That being said, but soon I believe most people of the modern world will have a hydrogen generator in the homes for the benefit of their health, beauty, athletic performance, mental performance, and overall feeling of well-being. Okay, let's get started with a few facts. First of all, not all hydrogen machines are created equal. Most of them use the same science behind their technology, mainly electrolysis, but is no limited to electrolysis. Another manner in which to make hydrogen is through a chemical reaction, mainly the combination of magnesium and calcium. However, if they are not from organic sources, then we would be allowing inorganic matter into our bodies. The effects are not tested for long term, and heavy metals in the body are not my idea of a solution. Those are my thoughts of the pills and hydrogen sticks. Now about electrolysis. Electrolysis is great if you want to produce hydrogen gas, for the purposes of igniting the gas as a fuel source, but for the purposes of dissolving molecular hydrogen gas into drinking water or for breathing it in, it is very important that during the process of making the hydrogen, that the process in which it is made does not taint the water in any harmful way. The harmful ways from which I speak of are rather leaching metals into the drinking water, due to electrical arcing because of an unstable electrical current during the process. Also the use of cheap materials such as cheap metals which make leaching even more likely and would be detrimental to overall health in the long run. And finally, when hydrogen is being made, though electrolysis is done in water that has gases and chemicals that our home water filters do not clean out completely, there then is room for electrolysis with other components which may have negative long-term effects on our health for the future. Therefore, my research has required me to ask questions about any of the machines that I am considering. My methods of research are through emailing, phone calls, studies, and my researching is not limited to quotes from science researchers themselves. I do admit that I have been using a molecular hydrogen water machine that has helped me immensely, but I have recently discovered that this machine that I love so much is not entirely safe. So I am now in search of a hydrogen machine that can offer the same amount of hydrogen for my water, without the risk. You see, the machine I have been using, like most if not all machines out there, electrolyzes the water, and according to the research I have read, it has been found that during the electrolysis process it creates 7 different types of negative ions. Only thing is that these ions are incredibly unnatural in water. It is reported widely that negative ions are good for us, and that may be true when negative ions are in the air we breathe. But when negative ions are in water, Japanese scientists have agreed that negatively charged ions in water when used long-term are not a good idea. My intention when I set out to make this video was to report all my finding with a non-biased view and strictly based on facts and scientific research. In short, setting the record straight, the hydrogen stick and pills have negative effects, except now they are using a new calcium and magnesium which has no long-term research. But I don't want to take that risk with my life. No more synthetics for my body. My research has brought me to the conclusion that the safest way to get hydrogen into my body safely is with a hydrogen machine. However, new research shows where the new machines are falling short of being safe. Most of them are actually a risk. Only a couple out there that are safe. In every case except for one company I was nor answered when asking about what materials they were using. But the avoidance of answering simple questions like that and getting answers did not stop there. It seems to me that these companies know that their products are not able to deliver non-toxic results, so it seems that they have been instructed to avoid answering questions about the machines. One company in particular that I was very disappointed with was the company making the trustworthy. This is one of the machines I considered, but unfortunately they would not answer any questions that I had. The more I dig about who is associated with the trustworthy company and how they do business, the more I realize it is a company that I don't want my health to be in the hands of. The Echo is another company that is not making a safe hydrogen, but the main problem is that they do not answer questions about what materials they are made out of. These were the companies I had the most hope in. The machine I use now is called a Lourdes hydrogen machine. I got it about 3 years ago and it did help my family and myself immensely. I can't weigh enough good things about it, except when testing it I realized it was alkalizing the water, which means electrolysis by ways of an uncontrolled current is happening, which means it is not entirely safe. Then I realized that it was banned in its own home country of Korea for lack of safety. I liked the company because they were very honest for the most part and they were using better materials with every new model. They offered more and more, but they were lacking the technology to really deliver. I found out that a Japanese company had a machine also named Lourdes, after the healing waters of Lourdes, France. They also were very willing to answer my questions about what materials, where they are made. They were going above and beyond and telling me even how long it took them to finally overcome the many problems most machines on the market are facing. I realized that the Japanese are tenacious. When they find a problem, they really want to solve it and not just sell it to the public.
After verifying that they actually made a high ppm dissolved hydrogen stable for several hours, and that they have one of if not the only hydrogen machine that does not electrolyze the water during the process of making hydrogen, and that their technology is so difficult to replicate that they don't think any other company could possibly be able to make hydrogen without electrolyzing the water, I realized then and there that the unfortunate truth was that companies out there selling hydrogen machines are not evil, but they are either unaware of, uneducated about, or simply don't understand how important it is to get this right. Plus, the hydrogen machines are beginning to use breathable apparatus because more hydrogen is absorbed in the body when breathing, which brings me to our next problem. If there are any impurities in the water, say from the tap water or that the filter did not get, if the hydrogen machine electrolyzes the water to get breathable hydrogen, that hydrogen is not pure or alone, it now has ionized impurities that could potentially be harmful. So it is absolutely imperative that the water not be electrolyzed if the intention is to breathe it in. So I have come to my conclusion. There are probably hydrogen machines out there that are generally okay, but I don't want to find out down the road that the long-term effects of doing things incorrectly may have heavy implications. In the end, I only ended up trusting one company that I could afford. It was the Lourdes Hydrofix. I am so elated to find a trustworthy company so much that I decided I should let the public know my findings, mostly because as I once was uneducated, so are the rest, and unless someone speaks up about it, we will all just take what we are given, without asking for a higher standard. If I discover any more information concerning anything I mentioned, I will be sure to update with another video. Thank you for listening. Period. May I remind the audience that the opinions expressed in this video are solely my own based on my personal research, and the conclusions I come to are based on my research.